Sivga P2 has always been a public's favorite. It's no wonder why. They had a good comfort, a good sound, and a fair pricing. So today we're reviewing the P2 Pro. Sivga P2 Pro is $449 US. It is a remodel of the original, upgraded drivers, better construction, better comfort, and a better default cable. So let's see what Sivga brings us with the new P2 Pro. First, they have changed the transport case. This is a sad day because I like the original transport case. They had that booty transport case. Now it's a bit flatter because the headphones will sit flat inside of it. This should theoretically offer better protection than keeping them unfolded, but you know, some people will miss the old one. Inside of the transport case, you will find the transport bag for the cable, is not for the headphones. You will also find an adapter from 4.4mm balance to 3.5mm single-ended. Don't forget that is a reasonable thing to do on the cable. We also have a 3.5mm to 6.3mm adapter, and here are the headphones. They already have their default cable connected, which is ended in a 4.4mm balanced connector. This is super nice for the price point because a lot of people want to be able to connect their headphones to a balanced source. Even entry-level stuff comes with a balanced output now, and it sounds better over it. It's simpler to design a good sounding balanced source nowadays. The only thing that is not simple is having a good balanced source for EMs, because in general the balanced output tends to have a higher noise floor. P2 Pro comes with planar magnetic driver and fairly large ones at that. They are using a lithography, which is typically used for CPUs, at 28 nanometers. That's about what Intel was using in their, I think, first generation of CPUs, up to the third generation of I-core CPUs, so it's pretty good. Using a lithography means that the company is able to create very small traces on the driver and also to refine the membrane for it to move faster and to sound better. So let's see how they fit and how they sound, because the practical part is the most important part in a review. P2 Pro looks very similar to the original, although they are a bit more refined. The ear cups are made of wood. They have a very polished look to them. They are lacquered. Also, the ear cups have a stainless steel internal plate on the inside, which is the stuff that's shining silvery. They also have a metallic frame, which is very solid, and the metallic frame has a gunmetal finish, which is applied through oxidation. The ear cups, which are far more important, are made of kid skin, and I did not know what that meant. For a moment, you know, it's not that. It's actually a type of goat skin from what I could find on Wikipedia, and it is made to be softer. And because children's gloves were made out of it, it's called kid skin. Pretty interesting stuff. We learn something new every day. The internal part of the earpad is made of textile material. It's a velour touch earpad, which means that they will not grow very hot in contact with your face and ears. The earpads are very much asymmetrical, and that is intended because they make better contact with your head like this. The frontal part and the posterior part are much thicker in the lower half of the ear cup than they are in the upper half, because like this they can create a more even contact with your ear, and the planar magnetic driver will sit in the planar arrangement relative to your ear. While wearing the Sivga P2 Pro, I have noticed almost no passive noise isolation. In fact, they even almost amplify the passive noise that's happening in my room. It's like their chip is made to amplify noise, which would make sense because you want to amplify the sound coming from the driver. That would be really helpful. But yeah, no passive noise isolation. It's even slightly amplified. I could hear myself typing very clearly, and I had to listen to at least medium volumes to drown out the typing noise. That was needed while writing the full written review, so keep in mind, without any kind of passive noise isolation, you'll hear everything. They don't leak that much noise, so they are made to keep the noise inside of your ear. Your music will stay in. About half of it will go out, if that makes sense. So it is reduced heavily in volume, but it is audible to the people around you. The clamping force is on the medium towards high, so they sit very securely on my head, but the weight is really evenly distributed by the headband, so I don't feel any kind of hot spot. If there is something that I feel is a bit of neck strain after about 2 hours of usage, because they are heavy at 400 and about 40 grams. At the ear cup side, we have very standard 3.5mm single-ended connectors, and those are mono connectors, so you will need a special cable for them. Although from what I tested, the cable for HiFi maintenance to work, I cannot recommend it if it is outside of standard construction. I don't want to tempt you to use a cable which was not made for them, but in general it should work. In my experience, most cables made for HiFi headphones will work on the Sivga 2, but you won't want to do that. And this is the fun part. The cable, I feel like it is slightly better than the cable on the original P2. It now has two colors, a very red and lighter copper color and the darker copper color. It has 4 strands of cable which are intertwined. This looks to be manual braiding, very high quality one at that. And the cable is quite long at about 2 meters. So you have enough cable for most setups. The default cable sounds quite bright and the company stated this directly. So if you wanted a brighter cable, here you have it. You can replace the cable to create a smoother and a fuller sound, but I would suggest not doing that. For a $400 and about $50 headphone, getting yourself an upgrade cable which costs about $500 or even $200 is not advisable. I have noted in my full written review that they are a bit hard to drive and a bit hard to control. That's not exactly the thing. The thing is that the default signature is not necessarily made for everyone. So a very good portable source that will not only control them but be balanced in the price ratio to them is the Ibeso DX180. It has been one of my favorite sources for driving the Sivga P2 Pro. And generally the sound of the P2 Pro is really rich, smooth and sweet. They create a really sweet female voicing. They bring voices very close to you. They create this personal feeling where you are really close to the singer. They create a pretty wide soundstage, but they respect the bounds of the original recording, mixing and mastering. This means you will hear exactly what the song has to offer. For example, a more intimate song will sound really intimate, while a wider sounding song, classical performances, especially orchestral, will sound really wide and expanded like this. They can push a sound or an instrument to play like it's coming from another room or a different spot in space and time. It's just very far away from you. And they can create that, but the song has to have it. Otherwise, they sound just natural. The bass is pretty powerful. It can reach about 30 Hz. It has a soft roll-off effect, especially at lower volumes, because this headphone doesn't sound linear in relation to the volume. This means that the sound tends to be different at different volume levels, and they sound best at medium and high volumes. At low volumes, they sound a bit compressed. The sound is very smooth, very laid back and relaxed. At medium and higher volumes, the sound becomes more engaging, more dynamic, and the bass is much stronger. You get more presence in the sub bass, more bass punch. You also get a more intimate feeling to the lead singer, but the background instruments are pushed further away from you. Music comes from more directions, while the treble is still very smooth, but a bit more brilliant and sparkly. That stainless steel mesh or plate here will create a slight metallic resonance in the treble, and most cymbal crashes will have a bit of energy and impact, which is great because otherwise the sound would have been really soft, and this keeps the sound a bit more engaging together with the bass. In the end, the sound is quite natural and balanced, very airy and sweet. It works really well with female voices. That is my main takeaway. This is a headphone designed for you to listen to female voices or to pop music and to commercial music. They sound bright, even the company states that it's a bright tuning, but it's a well done bright tuning. Rich, musical and engaging. It's emotional and it's very enjoyable overall. In the $449 price range, there are a lot of options available, like a lot of headphones that you can purchase. But I think that the Sivga P2 Pro is one of the most gentle and sweet sounding options out there. It's just unique. So if at the end of the day you are wondering whether this is a recommended purchase, it will be recommended if you are listening to a lot of music with female voicing. Then it will sound sweet, enjoyable, and it will be totally worth the asking price. If you tend to listen to other styles, for example, if you listen to a lot of rock and metal, even Sivga makes other options like SV023, which is more recommended for that style. But for any kind of music which has a metal singer, the P2 Pro is unbeatable. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are enjoying your time at Audiophile Heaven. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for learning more about headphones and EMs and DACs and amplifiers and speakers and more. Please like this video if you are enjoying the content, and I hope we'll see each other really soon. Bye!